Welcome to Tweet of the Week. It is a pleasure to welcome Liz O'Neill this week. Liz is the English Learning Teacher and Department Chair at Frederick High School. And Liz, I thank you, first of all, for what you do for students each and every day. I know that you work with some of our students who have come into our country as young adolescents with no English at all, and really have a high mountain to climb to get that high school diploma. And so I can't say enough about the work of all of our EL teachers and specialists and what they do for these children. But I'm particularly excited because you have been welcoming students into small groups in Frederick High to support them on this virtual learning journey. So talk a little bit about your tweet and a little bit about what you're seeing as you get these children back into the building.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me. My tweet was about setting up my classroom and getting it ready for the students, making sure that all of the desks were spaced appropriately, knowing that the students would be there from 12:30 to 3:30, making sure they had a little bit of space to spread out as well so that they would be comfortable. And then I also had a picture of the different options of things that they could be doing while they were there in the classroom. And that ranges from getting help from me if they were struggling in one of their classes. Also hopping on a Google Meet with one of their teachers who has tutoring in the afternoon, just studying for an upcoming summative assessment or working on some of their formative assessments to prepare for an upcoming summative as well. So those are some of the things that they can do in the classroom. And I found the time to be very beneficial for them.
And so what do you see the students needing the most support in when they come into the face-to-face opportunity with you?
Sure. Since I'm working specifically with low-level English learners, a lot of the time they need help understanding what it is the teacher's asking them to do for the assignment and the appropriate steps to take to master the content. So if they're given an assignment, they may not understand exactly the steps they need to take to complete it. So we break down those steps for them and we make sure they're understanding, first I do this, then I do this, then I can put those things together to create the final result.
And how many students would you say from your English learner population are coming in all of the high school, not just in your classroom? I know you said you had 5 students in your classroom, but.
Yes, I would say, I think we invited about, I want to say 125 students in to get help. And that was a lot of our low-level English learners and also other students with accommodations.
And did the majority of the students take advantage of that, or would you say about half? Or?
I would say about half did. I think it depended on a lot of different factors. I was very happy that we had the transportation to be able to bring in as many students as wanted to come.
Absolutely. Now, we were talking earlier about the virtual learning experience, and some students are thriving, other students, it's much more of a challenge.
Yes.
And you shared an interesting observation about what you're really trying to work toward with your students that you think makes the big difference for them.
Sure. Yes, so with our students, we find that when the teacher delivers the material and they have an engaging lesson and they're using the blended learning strategies so that there's a lot of student participation, engagement, and choice, we find that it's incredibly beneficial when we can support our students to engage back with us. It makes a huge difference, and I'm so proud of them because when they're able to engage, they're able to ask questions. It goes from the teachers delivering the material, it goes from the teachers trying to make sure that the students are supported to the students engaging back, and it becomes a moment when we're all learning together. And I think that that is a huge moment in virtual learning because we're not all together, but we are still learning together.
And owning that learning and knowing what I need to do to empower myself as a learner, I know is something that we've really been working on before the pandemic hit. And students who have benefited from that, I think, are going to find a little bit easier road in this virtual learning environment. How about socially? We've heard a lot about, well, yeah, but if they have to stay 6 feet apart, they're not going to interact. It's just not going to feel the same. Do you think the students were happy and excited to see each other?
Absolutely. They were very happy. They were chatting as they came to their desks. I have little name tags for them just so that every day they're at the same desk so that they feel comfortable in their space. But they're, waving hi to each other, chatting, talking about classes they have together and things like that. And the social aspect is definitely there and I think definitely beneficial for our students.
Now, have you had any issues with students not wanting to wear the mask?
Not at all. Not at all. They understand the need for it. They understand the purpose behind it. They understand the distancing. They're very good about hand sanitizing. If they have to go to the bathroom and return, they sanitize when they leave. They sanitize when they come back. They understand we have procedures for a reason and that it's to keep everyone safe, and they are very respectful of that.
Well, I am thrilled that you are working with students face-to-face and giving them that little bit of extra scaffolding in order to make them successful, to build that empowered learner that we talk about in our strategic plan. Thank you for tweeting about it, and I wish you and the students continued success until we can get back to whatever we get back to when we get back to it. So Liz, thank you again for all that you do.
Thank you so much.
It is so exciting when teachers share successes, whether that be through the virtual learning experience or a face-to-face small group experience. Amazing things are happening because our staff are paying attention to what our students need and delivering. So thank you again, Liz. Follow our teachers on Twitter and stay connected with what's happening in our classrooms. And of course, please join us again next time for Tweet of the Week.